Good morning. I got up early to do some social media work and couldn't fall back to sleep. So I decided at the last minute to film this video. Let's talk about Dexter. The season finale of Dexter New Blood premiered last weekend, so it's now been a week. I've been able to gather my thoughts. My brother and I started our Dexter journey either right before or right after the Dexter New Blood premiere. We'd never seen the show, but really wanted to watch it and get into it before this continuation premiered because we were so curious about it, and we like crime shows anyways. We knew all about the series finale being absolutely panned as possibly the worst series finale of all time. We also knew how beloved the show had been before that. Like, people love Dexter. And we just had to find out what all the hype was about. We also wanted to see the series finale for ourselves and decide if we thought it was as bad as everyone else thought, or if we thought people were being dramatic. We binged the show and finished in maybe a month or so, maybe less. We binged it pretty fast, maybe a little over a month. Usually I'm not good at ranking seasons, but I actually found it fairly easy to rank Dexter seasons 1 through 8 and Dexter New Blood. I also pulled the Rotten Tomatoes scores to see if my rankings lined up with critics and or audiences. Oh, need that orange juice. Don't want to get sick. Everyone's sick. I don't want to get sick. I don't know why you would watch this video if you've never watched the show, because there will be major spoilers as I'm talking about each season, but just in case, I want to lay this out there. Dexter is about a man named Dexter who works as a blood analyst and specialist on the Miami PD forensics team. But he has a dark secret. He's a serial killer. Coming in at number 9 is, can you guess? Dexter Season 8.
Season 8 is 12 episodes long and premiered on June 30th, 2013. This season follows Dexter as he's forced to deal with his past when he comes across Dr. Evelyn Vogel, an expert on psychiatry who returns to Miami. Nicknamed the Psychopath Whisperer, she claims to have structured the code for him alongside Harry. This season also deals with a new serial killer in Miami who removes pieces of the victim's brains, and with Debra, who is trying to deal with her actions in the previous season.
You're probably thinking, wow, you watched the show just to put the last season minus Dexter New Blood at the very bottom, just like everyone else. Here's the thing. I didn't hate the season. I actually didn't mind it. It was very tense, and the events of episode 11, heartbreaking. I was traumatized. I was upset. Episode 12, I would say for the most part it wasn't terrible, but I found the execution as a whole lacking. There are just things about it. I didn't even mind how it ended. The terrible CGI really took me out of it at the end, I'll be honest. I know that sounds so stupid, but if you're gonna do the series finale in that way, you better nail the CGI. Because for me, it's one of the only things I think about. I understand why they ended it the way they did. I don't know, I'm not as mad at it as other people. I keep mentioning the execution. Besides the bad CGI, I also didn't like how they wrapped up the serial killer storyline. It was building the entire season, and then in season 12, he's caught in like 0.5 seconds in the hospital, and it's done. That was really anticlimactic. Like, wait, what just happened? I didn't like that part of it. So, worst series finale of all time, jury's still out, because that's a really bold statement to make, and I don't feel confident making it at this time. Coming in at number 8 is season 6, which featured the Doomsday Killers and Debra as the new lieutenant.
Season 6 is 12 episodes long and premiered on October 2nd, 2011. This season follows Dexter's and Miami Metro's investigations into a string of bizarre, ritualistic killings featuring overtly religious apocalyptic symbolism.
This was another unpopular season, mostly because people felt like the killers, the villains, were underwhelming. I didn't think Colin Hanks was terrible. I actually thought some of the things he did as the villain of the show pretty darn brutal. The whole thing with his sister was quite a shock and a twist. Was he the most exciting and memorable when you compare him to other killers from the show? No. But I didn't think he was terrible. I actually thought the second guy was boring. And I know there's a whole twist about that. But I found him more underwhelming than Colin Hanks. The final 2 positions are somewhat interchangeable. I had to pick the season with the better ending to put above the bottom spot. I chose Doomsday Killers for the 8th spot instead of the 9th because that ending with Debra finding out everything, that was a much anticipated moment, and it was an absolute shock, and I can't even imagine watching that and then having to wait a year or more for the next season. My brother and I were binging it, and we were able to go right into the next season. I can't even imagine waiting, because what a freaking moment. That is why it ended up on top of the bottom spots, which moves us into number 7, Dexter New Blood.
Dexter New Blood is 10 episodes long and premiered on November 7th, 2021. After faking his death 10 years ago in a hurricane, Dexter Morgan has moved to the fictional small town of Iron Lake, New York, hiding his identity under the name of Jim Lindsay, a clerk at a local wilderness sporting gear store. He has a romantic relationship with the town's chief of police, Angela Bishop, and has been successfully suppressing his vigilante serial killing urges. Dexter's deceased sister Debra has replaced their father Harry as an imaginary presence he often speaks to. In the first episode, his estranged son Harrison from his previous life arrives unannounced with mysterious motives. A string of incidents around Iron Lake causes Dexter to fear that the dark passenger within him, and potentially within his son, will reveal itself.
Here's the thing. This show is better quality than the whole Dexter show put together. And I'm not saying that because Dexter wasn't good quality. I'm saying that because, like, it's 2021. Or it was when New Blood came out. It's 2021/2022. So obviously, everything about it is going to be better quality. It's very polished and high quality and, fancy graphics. I loved everything they did with, like, the title of each episode, the opening credits, the closing credits. All of that was really cool. But at the end of the day, after the New Blood finale, I have to wonder if it truly needed to be done. I actually really like what happened in the season finale. A lot of people don't. My brother and I were actually laughing about this. It ended up getting worse reviews than the Dexter series finale. So, did New Blood even have to exist, is the question. I think my biggest thoughts are, I like how it ended. It kind of feels like that was meant to happen all along. So, maybe New Blood does need to exist. But at the same time, all the excitement was in the final episode. What was it? Episode, I think, 10? I can't remember. The rest of the episodes were good, they were polished, but they weren't exciting or tense like the better seasons of Dexter. That final episode was fantastic. The tension was there, you're on the edge of your seat, shocking ending. It's almost like somehow they should have turned that final episode into its own thing and like take away the rest of the show and make that sort of like a hour and a half, 2-hour TV movie event. That might have been better than an entire show that didn't really have the excitement and tension that the original Dexter had. Especially the earlier seasons. That is the show that everyone knows and loved. And I feel like some of that formula was definitely missing from New Blood. Not bad, but just meh for me. The only reason it's higher, really, is because I liked the quality of it. Obviously, they put their all into that. And I actually really liked the ending. It felt appropriate. Coming in at number 6, Season 1, our introduction to Dexter.
Dexter Season 1 is 12 episodes long and premiered on October 1st, 2006. It follows Dexter's investigation of the ice truck killer. Introduced in the first episode, this serial killer targets prostitutes and leaves their bodies severed and bloodless. At the same time, Dexter's adoptive sister, Debra Morgan, a vice squad officer, aspires to work in the homicide department.
The only reason season 1 is more towards the bottom than the top is not because I don't think it's a great season. It is. This introduces us to Dexter. We have the ice truck killer, who is a fantastic villain the entire season. The twists and turns are great. But it's the first season. There was tons of room to grow, and I think the next seasons really improved on the sort of diamond in the rough that was Dexter season 1. So that is why it's here. But it's a really good first season and a great introduction to what would become one of the most loved shows of all time. And also most hated because of the series finale. Coming in at number 5 is season 3. This is the season when Rita discovers she's pregnant, Dexter proposes, and the main killer / villain is the Skinner.
Season 3 is 12 episodes long and premiered on September 28, 2008. In this season, Dexter kills a man in self-defense and initiates a friendship with the man's brother, Assistant District Attorney Miguel Prado. In the meantime, Rita discovers that she is pregnant, and Debra investigates the murders of a new serial killer called the Skinner, hoping to gain a promotion to detective. In addition to Miguel, Dexter's third season introduces two recurring characters: Detective Joey Quinn, who becomes Debra's partner when he is transferred from the narcotics department to homicide, and Ellen Wolf, a defense attorney whom Miguel detests.
One of the main storylines of this season is Dexter teaming up with somebody. Through a series of events, he ends up telling Assistant DA Miguel everything about himself. Dexter is hesitant at first, but Miguel insists that he accepts him for who he is, and he is fully prepared to do what Dexter does. This was a really solid season. There were some truly shocking twists and turns. It's just not my favorite when you compare it to other seasons and also other main killers slash villains from other seasons, but it's still fantastic. So it's just right in the middle, which isn't a bad place to be. Moving right along with the top 5, in the 4th position is season 7.
Season 7 is 12 episodes long and premiered on September 30th, 2012. This season follows Dexter's tangles with a Ukrainian mob boss and introduces the character Hannah McKay, a mysterious widow with a green thumb and a checkered past.
This is the season when we meet Hannah, who has a dark secret. Debra now knows everything about Dexter. This season opens right after that shocking ending of season 6 with the Doomsday Killers. If you'll remember from season 6, Debra is now the lieutenant. In season 7, now that she knows everything about Dexter, it really puts so much stress and pressure on her that she does not deserve. Things just start going downhill. That ending is one of the most heartbreaking endings because setting things up for season 8, you're thinking, truly, could things get worse? And they absolutely do after this season. It's just crazy. Like, Dexter is a master at ruining lives, but because he really lacks the ability to empathize, sometimes he says he realizes, but I don't think he truly realizes the absolute havoc he wreaks on everyone around him. And it breaks my heart because from this point on, you really watch Debra deteriorate. Oh my gosh. I hate it so much. The person who dies in the season 7 finale, it just sucks. LaGuardia was sort of an up and down character. Sometimes you liked her, sometimes you hated her, sometimes you really hated her, sometimes you just liked her. Like, she was all over the place. But at the end of the day, did she deserve to die? No. You want to justify Dexter killing a predator or a serial killer or a rapist, fine. You can sort of find it in your mind, like, would I do that if I were in that position? Like, probably not, but you'd think about it, right? You'd consider it if you were staring at a horrible person as well as the pictures of his victims. LaGuardia didn't deserve it. She only died to save Dexter's hide from prison for the rest of his life. And he didn't even kill her. Debra did. All because she just loves her brother too much. She just can't allow him to get in trouble and go away for life. She just can't. This is the beginning of her deterioration, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. And that's why the season's at number 4. Oh, another thing I want to mention, the story with Hannah is interesting, but I will say I find the character very unlikable. I don't like her at all, and I'm very interested to know if anyone else feels the same. I never liked her. We are now in the top 3. Coming in at number 3 is season 5.
Season 5 is 12 episodes long and premiered on September 26, 2010. This season focuses on Dexter coming to terms with the aftermath of Rita's death in the season 4 finale, as well as stopping a group of serial rapists and avoiding a corrupt cop who learns his deadly secret.
This is the season that deals with the aftermath of Rita's death. Dexter is dealing with a lot. Following that season finale, it's a lot for all of us, okay? The main storyline of this one is him meeting a woman named Lumen, who was a victim of this group of men who kidnap women and keep them locked up and do absolutely despicable, horrible things to them, and they film it. And then they kill them eventually. Oh my gosh, this... If ever there was a time I was cheering on Dexter, it was this season. Because basically he and Lumen end up teaming up to kill the men who hurt her, one by one. I can't help rooting for them, because the things those men did, I could vomit just thinking about it right now. So, yeah, I have no problem saying I was cheering them on from the very beginning. Those men deserve to die. And there's a special place in hell for them. It's also worth mentioning that this is the season when Debra almost finds out about Dexter, because during one of Dexter Lumen's kills, Debra walks into the crime scene, and they're hidden behind a curtain, and she talks to them. I don't think either of them speaks. Debra just knows they're there. She, during the investigation, had to watch those DVDs and started to feel herself that she would have killed them if she had the chance. She doesn't know that it's Dexter teaming up with Lumen, but she's come to the conclusion that the girl doing the killings is the victim. I think she's the 13th victim that they've never caught or identified or something like that. She's basically the missing victim, and Debra knows that. She lets her and her partner get away because of what was done to her. Debra's a good cop, and she loves her job, and she takes it seriously, but something about this case really triggered her, and I don't blame her in any way. And she just, she can't help it. She lets them go free, not even realizing Dexter was right there. And I still think she would have let them go free if she knew that, you know? Season 5, she almost found out, and then she actually found out in season 6. So, sort of foreshadowing, because she literally finds out at the end of the very next season. Moving right along, top 2. Coming in at number 2, season 4.
Season 4 is 12 episodes long and premiered on September 27th, 2009. This season focuses on Dexter attempting to balance his family life, the birth of his son Harrison, and his extracurricular activities. John Lithgow guest stars in all 12 episodes as the Trinity Killer, Miami's latest and deadliest serial killer. Keith Carradine returns as FBI Special Agent Frank Lundy.
The main killer and villain in this season is the Trinity Killer, who is one of the most well-known killers from this entire show. Having watched the show now, when I think of Dexter, I can't help thinking of the Trinity Killer. This season is top-notch. There's a reason it's critically acclaimed, loved by audiences. It's one of the best. It's truly a prime example of all of the threads being perfectly woven together. I truly don't think there's a weak link, and to top it all off, that season finale is an absolute gut punch. It's not only a shock because Rita dies, but also the fact that Dexter finds his son in a pool of his mother's blood. It's traumatizing because when Dexter was a young boy, that's how he was found by police, in a pool of his mother's blood. And now his son is going through the same thing. This feels like a good time to mention that this is why I think the Dexter New Blood finale is appropriate, because of this moment in Dexter season 4. Harrison had to break the cycle. Otherwise, his circumstances were exactly like Dexter, and he would have just done the exact same things that Dexter did, and that would have not been good. Even though he ends up with no parents and he's all alone, I think it's for the best and he'll land on his feet. So, yeah. That's why I think that New Blood finale is justified, because of the ending of season 4. That brings us to the number 1 spot, which can only be one season, and that is season 2.
Season 2 is 12 episodes long and premiered on September 30th, 2007. In this season, the bodies of Dexter's victims are uncovered and an investigation is launched in Dexter's own department to find the killer, dubbed the Bay Harbor Butcher. During this time, Debra struggles to recover after surviving the ice truck killer's attempts to murder her, and Rita sends Dexter to Narcotics Anonymous meetings when she suspects that he has an addiction. Sergeant James Dokes stalks Dexter, suspecting that he is connected with the ice truck killer killings. 3 new characters are introduced. Special Agent Frank Lundy, an FBI agent who heads the Bay Harbor Butcher investigation, Rita's mother Gail, and Lila Tournay, Dexter's Narcotics Anonymous sponsor.
Just like the bottom 2 spots, the top 2 spots are also interchangeable. I actually went back and forth on this. It was so hard because, obviously, based on my rankings, seasons 2 and 3 are the best seasons of Dexter, hands down. They're basically flawless. In season 2, Dexter's work colleague Dokes is following him because he thinks Dexter has a secret, specifically a dark secret, which he does. Dokes is a military man. He's a good cop, a good detective. Dexter has to be on his A game. Throw into the mix Lila, who is a terrible person. Her and Dexter start a fling, and she would basically do anything for him. She becomes obsessive. While Dexter is dealing with the dumpster fire that is his love life, you know what else is happening besides being stalked by Dokes? The Miami PD discovered an underwater grave, tons of trash bags of chopped up bodies. They dubbed the killer the Bay Harbor Butcher, and the search gets super intense. They bring in the FBI. They're calling the Bay Harbor Butcher the worst serial killer Miami has ever seen. It's Dexter. It's Dexter's underwater grave site. Okay? That's where all of his bodies are thrown. Here's the thing. When my brother and I first saw season 2, we were thinking it is way too soon for them to be discovering Dexter's bodies and going on a manhunt for him, right? Technically, was it too soon? Yeah, probably. Was that season flawless? Yeah. Everything happened way too soon, but that season is so good. This is another season that ends with a tragic death. Dokes does end up dying because Lila kills him to save Dexter from going to prison. I hate it so much because I actually think Dexter would have let him go in the end. And the fact that Lila got to him first is infuriating. And it's funny because Dokes is another character that I was like, do I like him? Do I hate him? I don't know. I should have liked him because Dexter's a terrible person. I should not have been rooting for Dexter. But somehow I was. And I'm sad that Dokes died. And then the ending with Lila, like, she gets away, but Dexter tracks her down to Paris and kills her, and the season ends. Like, he just takes her out in her Paris apartment. She has no idea. Oh, what a season. Brilliant. If I were talking to someone who's about to start Dexter or plans on watching it in the future, I would say keep an eye out for seasons 2 and 4. Those are top tier Dexter. If you watch those seasons and don't like them, there's something wrong with you and there's no hope for the rest of the show. You should probably stop now and find something else. Okay, hopefully this isn't too much information all at once. In the 9th spot, I have season 8. Audiences on Rotten Tomatoes disagree. They have season 6 at 55%. Critics on Rotten Tomatoes have season 8 at 33%. So me and critics agree. I have number 8 as season 6. Audiences disagree. They have season 8 at 51%. Critics agree with season 6 at 40%. Number 7, I have Dexter New Blood. Audiences agree with New Blood at 78%. Critics disagree with season 1, 71%. At number 6, I have season 1. Audiences agree with season 1 at 80%. Critics disagree. They have season 3, 72%. At number 5, I have season 3. Audiences disagree. They have season 7, 81%. Critics also disagree. They have New Blood, 76%. Number 4 for me is season 7. Audiences disagree. They have season 5, 83%. Critics agree. Season 7, 79%. At number 3, I have season 5. Audiences disagree with season 3 at 85%. Critics agree. Season 5, 84%. At number 2, I have season 4. Audiences agree with season 4 at 96%. Critics also agree. Season 4, 88%. And the number 1 position, I have season 2. Audiences agree. Season 2, 96%. Critics also agree. Season 2, 96%. Audiences, critics, and I all agree on the top 2 positions, season 2 and season 4. Not only that, the top position of season 2 has the exact same score, 96%. That's crazy. Just to recap everything, I agreed with Rotten Tomatoes audiences on 4 positions. Positions 6 and 7 and positions 1 and 2. I agreed with Rotten Tomatoes critics on 6 out of 9 positions. So when does my TV critic career start? Because I'm ready to go. I'm ready to earn millions. We agreed on the bottom 2 positions, positions 8 and 9, and we agreed on the top 4 spots, positions 1 through 4. Wow, that's insane. Even though the reviews are obviously mixed, I agreed a lot more with Rotten Tomatoes than I was expecting, especially with critics. not to toot my own horn, but that tells me that my rankings are pretty darn accurate. So, if you want an opinion on Dexter, obviously you should listen to me. Oh my goodness, what a video. I've been up since 5:45 and I've only had like a 30-minute nap since then. Oh, I'm so tired. Hopefully all my opinions and thoughts made sense. I would absolutely love to hear your opinions in the comments down below. Do you agree with my rankings, or do your rankings look different? Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this crazy video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that red button down below to subscribe and become a member of my YouTube family. Also, click the bell to turn on your notifications. I will see you in my next video. Bye!